Welcome to Aurora University and the Spartan Athletic Park. Tonight's contest features a Northern Athletics Collegiate Conference women's soccer matchup between the visiting Eagles of Benedictine University and your Spartans of Aurora University. Now, before we meet tonight's starting lineups, we ask that everyone please rise as able. Kindly remove your hats and face the flag as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
They're in the car. I got them all.
First, let's meet the referees for today's match. David Agavinode, Abel Gonzalez, Jeremy Caden, and Samuel Paisley. Now let's meet tonight's starting lineups. First, for the visiting Eagles, in goal number 66, Marissa Amador. Number 3, Durin Jetterquist. Number 4, Kaylin Knudsen. Number 5, Elena Hernandez. Number 7, Kaylee Ludwig. Number 8, Alyssa Bassford. Number 17, Sabrina Cox. Number 18, Sam Bennett. Number 19, Natalia Ohab. Number 21, Yuri Serhin. Number 24, Joey Voits. The Eagles are led by head coach Katie McHugh.
Welcome your Aurora University Spartans.
And now, the starters for your Aurora University Spartans. In goal, number 1, Malia Kane. Number 2, Shreya Hairston. Number 4, Danny Machado Salazar. Number 5, Talia Fuentes. Number 6, Taylor Collins. Number 7, Julie Collins. Number 8, Chelsea Johnson. Number 13, Mara Sikorsky. Number 16, Kira Carr. Number 20, Daniela Martinez. And number 28, McKenna Coombs. Your Spartans are led by head coach Courtney Neighbor, assistant coach Emma Delgado, and the manager Tegan Moffitt.
Welcome your Aurora University Spartans.
Good evening and welcome to Spartan Athletic Park for tonight's NAC Conference Tilt here on the frozen tundra of Montgomery, Illinois. 50 degrees out, mostly clear. It's a cool fall evening here at Aurora University, and it's the Eagles and the Spartans. It's going to be a good one for the Spartans. It's simple. Win and you're in. And there are some other scenarios that they could go for the 8th or the 7th seed with some help from some teams either losing or winning. We'll get to those here shortly. Again, thank you for joining us. I'm Bill Downing, and it's going to be a good one here tonight. This is it. Win and you're in. That's pretty much the scenario for the Spartans. Tournament starts on Sunday the 2nd. Semis on the 5th, and the championship on the 8th. So if things go as planned, they could be as high as the 7th seed, or they could be the 8th seed. If they're the 8th seed, they're going to be taking on Illinois Tech, who defeated Rockford today 17-0. And that team is on an absolute tear. They did not lose any games in the NAC, and they have only lost one game overall and a tie. So they're at 17-1-1. If we can get to the 7th spot, due to the fact that Wisconsin Lutheran is playing Edgewood tonight, a loss by them would move us up to the 7th spot. We would take on MSOE at this point. So we'll see how it goes. Teams are on the field. Benedictine Eagles in black, and the Spartans are in white. We'll get to our sponsors here shortly. First, our referees tonight, David Avingon, Abel Gonzalez, Jeremy Caden, and Samuel Paisley. Spartans will be going left to right. Benedictine will get the opening kick here tonight on the pitch. It's going to be a good one. It's cool, but not as cool as we've seen it. 50 is not a bad degree when you figure out that, 2 days from now usually is when we get our first snow here in this area. And it's been cold enough at night. We just have not had the precipitation. Good anticipation by the Spartans. Mara Sikorsky. Now the Spartans trying to move this one up, trying to get onto the board right away to pressure the Eagles. There's a cross toward the far side of the box. And the keeper, Marissa Amador, the freshman from Palos Hills, Illinois, went to St. Lawrence High School, part of the Chicago Catholic League. Melina Kane will be between the pipes, the senior from Navon, Ontario, for the Spartans. Looking at these starters, Kieran Jetterquist, Kaylin Knutson, Elena Hernandez, Kaylee Ludwig, Alyssa Basford, Sabrina Cox, Sam Bennett, Natalia Ohab, Yara Sherveen, Joey Payutz, and Marissa Amandor. Spartans got to be careful as the Eagles now in attack mode. Head coach Katie McHugh, 6th season, 1852-15 overall. This one just misses. Here's Ludwig. She's trying to slow it down, and that one picked off nicely by Chelsea Johnson, the senior from Sydney, Australia. Spartans having a hard time getting out of their defensive third. And for the Spartans, Melina Kane between the pipes. Shreya Hairston, Danny Machado Salazar, Dalia Fuentes, Taylor Collins, Julia Lopez, Chelsea Johnson, Maura Sikorsky, Kira Carr, Daniela Martinez, and McKenna Coons, head coach Courtney Neighbor. That's Carr. Good settle that time, gets it over to Sikorsky. Sikorsky tries to keep that one in. Coons. Didn't hear a whistle. You got to play it. That's exactly what she did. McKenna, the 5'2 senior out of Sandy, Utah, had a chance to talked to some of her relatives here early on, and hopefully they're watching out in Utah or wherever you're watching. We appreciate it here on athletics.aurora.edu. Regular season ends today. 4-11-1 for the Spartans, 4-6-1 in conference play. Historically, 20 wins, 2 losses, and 6 ties against the Eagles of Benedictine. Eagles coming in 2-15, 2-5 in NAC play. So this will be the end of their season. Spartans a lot to play for, and we'll keep you up to date what's going on with some of the other teams that are part of the wild scenarios. I'll explain that here pretty quick. Make sure you got your pen and paper ready, because this is like math, science, some geography, and something that Albert Einstein probably would have a hard time figuring out. But some way, somehow, we figured it out, and the scenario plays out. If they win, they're in. That's all you got to do. Easier said than done. These two teams have struggled through this season, but the Spartans, a lot to play for. They don't want their season to end today. So they could either be 8 or 7. That would mean they would either play Illinois Tech, the number 1 seed, or MSOE at this point, if it was to stop right now. Finals from around the NAC, 17-0. IIT over Rockford. Dominican upsets or defeats Concordia University of Chicago, the battle of Division Street, the rivalry between those two schools. Concordia University, Wisconsin defeats Marion 6-1 today. Wisconsin Lutheran at Edgewood, St. Norbert at MSOE. Trying to see if we can get some stats, because the Wisconsin Lutheran game is basically the one that we're looking for. Here are the Eagles trying to get it out of the attack zone. That was Salazar, and they're going to say this one is a foul on Sabrina Cox, the junior out of Naperville, Nequa Valley. No score, Wisconsin Lutheran and Edgewood. Morris Sikorsky, a freshman from St. Charles, will take this one. Let's see if she drives this one right at Amador. They try to chip that one in. They're looking for a little pinball action right there. Nobody home. Good idea, though. Might as well take advantage of that. And this will be a throw for the Eagles on the far touch. No score, Wisconsin Lutheran and Edgewood. Here's Coons. Turns around, nice feed into, unbelievable. That was a late whistle. And that looked like was that Salazar? Or was that Collins? No, that was Julie Lopez, the freshman from Las Vegas, Nevada. That was a great feed from Coons to Lopez, but they said she was offside on a late whistle. Trying to drive into that strong wind. Coons, the speedster out of Utah. There's Lopez again. I tell you, the Benedictine has got to be careful. Hairston swings it over to Machado Salazar. But Chelsea Johnson got stood up on the way into the attack. Now the Eagles trying to navigate through the middle third here tonight. No score, 36:54 left in the first, 0-0. Good touch, a little strong that time by Lopez. Out of Las Vegas, Nevada, went to Green Valley High School. Here's Sikorsky. Johnson with it. Good job keeping the ball away from the defender, but that one stripped right away by Ohab out of Hickory Hills, Illinois, went to Stagg High School. That's right at the end of Roberts Road. There's a chip in, but they would have been offside, so they'll let it go all the way to Amador. Everybody from the state of Illinois on the Eagles, with the exception of a player from Mooresville, Indiana, Broomfield, Colorado, and Port Washington, Washington, and Hartford, Wisconsin. And for the Spartans, all over the place. Spain, Canada, California, Nevada, Australia, North Dakota, Utah, tons of Illinois. Spartans trying to keep this in the middle third and then move it into the attack. Nice chip this time in by Carr. And they're going to say offsides again. .34:30 left here in the first. One foul for the Eagles, 2 offsides for the Spartans. That's it. No shots either way. Hairston, nice steal. Got it up to Danny Machado Salazar, the senior from Spain. Porto de Sagunto. Nice feed trying to get it up to Coons. Let's see what they do. Coons forces them to kick it wide, and a throw down to my far right. Nice chip. This time not offsides, and this should be a corner. Julie Lopez fighting for it. I don't know how that's not a corner. He went off the defender for the Eagles. But we continue to move on. World Series tied 2 games apiece. Shohei Ohtani last night showed that he was human and actually lost a game. But what a series that is. If you like baseball, that's something pretty special going on. There's Hairston. Nice move into Lopez. Lopez, turn around. And then she was basically held. There's a long draw. This one up to Hernandez. Hernandez on the Eagles. Their first push. And she'll shoot this one, and Kane, she'll just smother this one. 32:30 left, no score. And there's going to be a shot. Kane, a turnover by the Spartans. Kalen Knutson, the senior from Hartford, Wisconsin, had a great opportunity to make it 1-0. Kane off her fingertips, but this will be a corner for the Eagles. They have got to be careful, cannot turn it over in the attack. Sam Bennett, sophomore out of Port Washington, Washington, went to Port Washington High School. She'll have the corner for the Eagles. Down to my left and in the far corner. 31:40 left. First shot by the Eagles. Let's see what they do. They're going to draw this in toward the near post. That one's still loose. That one settled down. There's some friendly fire right there. Jetterquist right off the backside of Knutson that time. And the Spartans, they dodge a major bullet right there because the Eagles had the momentum. Trying to keep that one in, not able to do so. But this will be a foul on the Spartans. The Eagles will have it. Right in front of the Spartan bench as we approach 30:40 left here in the first half. No score. First shot and a shot on goal by the Eagles. And they got a corner kick. There's a long drive right toward the top of the box. Trying to settle that one down. Sikorsky heads that one out. Well, the Eagles right now, they're just anticipating very, very well. Tried to drop that one in. Kane, she'll get to it. Then she'll hurl this one out to Sikorsky. Here's Coons. Nice give and go. Coons keeps that one alive, trying to find Lopez. Here's Hairston. Using her speed, keeps this alive. Nice feed. But the Eagles playing back. Couple extra steps just because of that right there. Those stretch passes. Here's Hairston. Moves it back toward the middle. Lopez that time got it to Fuentes. Well, the Eagles are just tight on defense. You can see that. Not allowing much movement. Here's Hairston. Coons, don't think she can get to it. She can't. That was a great idea that time by Chelsea Johnson, 5'7" senior, as I mentioned, out of Sydney, Australia, went to Presbyterian High School. Kaylee Ludwig out of Lombard, went to Glenbard East. Good opportunity if the Spartans, they can pressure and get a turnover, and there it is. There's a shot toward the far post. Amador makes the stop. That one right off the foot of Chelsea Johnson. That had the far post written all over it, too. First good pressure. Now each team with a shot and a shot on goal. Foul on the Spartans. No score, 28-15 left here in the first. Eagles with the possession. Yari Servine, freshman from Aurora, went to East Aurora High School. She's out there. Number 21 for the Eagles. Amador gets it back. You just get a feel that it's going to come down to one shot here tonight between these two. Here's Coons. Good keep right along the near touch, but Dangerous pass, almost picked off by Hernandez. This will be Aurora ball. Fuentes keeps it alive. Nice settle by Daniela Martinez, the freshman out of Elgin. Battle for it on the far touch. Good drive that time by Carr. Coons is sitting right there in the middle. Spartan knocked down, and we'll have a whistle. That was one of those reach-around grabs right there. Took her right by the waist and threw her down. Actually had a part of the jersey. Let's see what Aurora can do here. This is basically going to be a corner. Let's see if they can connect. Well, they just dropped this one over the top. And look for a loose ball. Let's see what happens. Here we go. Yeah, they're chipping it right at the goal. Went to the far post, and that's a little bit too far. That's okay. It was a good effort. Chelsea Johnson, shot and a shot on goal. Kaylin Knutson, shot and shot on goal, and that's it. Couple fouls, 2 on the Eagles and 1 on the Spartans. Good header, Coons. Nice move, gets it up to Johnson, back to Coons. Fuentes keeps it alive. Here's Hairston. Just overrunning the ball that time. Eagles just trying to get this one out, and they do. Switch on the pitch. Here's Ludwig. Nice track down that time by Fuentes. Here's Coons. Sikorsky trying to track it down. She does. Kept it away from Knutson. Good up. Joey Putes, the freshman from Streeter, Illinois. Eagles keep it alive. Here's Ohab. Swings it near side here to Knutson. Knutson moves it back toward the middle. Goes around Hairston. But nobody home, and that one picked off by Salazar. Sent it back toward midfield. Picked up by Sam Bennett and out of play. And this will be a throw for Ben Yu. 23:45 left. That one goes right through the legs of Lopez, trying to track it down. Good play by Lopez, trying to keep it alive. She's knocked down, and this will be another foul on the Eagles. You know, we do have some great sponsors that make everything possible here tonight. We'll get to them here very, very shortly when we get just a little bit more time. But we can't thank them enough for making these broadcasts possible. That one right in, scored! And just like that, off the free, Mara Sikorsky makes it 1-0 Spartans.
Spartan goal scored by number 13, Mara Sikorsky on the free kick. Sikorsky unassisted.
How about that? The freshman from St. Charles breaks the ice. That goal at 22:08. Let's see what that does to the Eagles, because the Eagles were pressing, and the third foul by the Eagles gives the free to Sikorsky, and she puts it right over the top of Amador for a 1-0 lead. The next short stoppage, we'll get to our sponsors here tonight. There's Knutson trying to get the equalizer. You can see a total change in the approach now by the Eagles. It's like a sense of urgency immediately. And the Spartans know that they can bend. They just cannot break with that lead. Salazar, the Spartans with the throw. Coons, she's held. Coons! Amador, how is that not a look at that. She's got a captain's band on, and they basically ripped that right off of her arm. Unbelievable no call. Well, they know that play is going to work, and I'm pretty sure we're going to see it again. I don't know how you missed that. Basically dragged down, arm almost pulled out of its socket. Knutson now with it for the Eagles. That one picked off by Hairston. Here come the Spartans. Hairston with it. She'll center. Oh, nice redirect that time by Lopez. And the Spartans keeping the foot on the gas as we approach 21 minutes left here in the first. All right, let's take a look at our sponsors. We have a whistle. I'd like to get to them. BSN Sports, Chick-fil-A, Kaufman GMC, Elite Management Properties, Raising Cane's, and Rush Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. Thank you for being sponsors of our broadcast here at Aurora University. Here's Coons tracking this one down. Got to be careful. No, I'm sorry, that's not Coons. That is Daniela Martinez. Boy. So Melina Kane just waiting to get this one going. I'd like to give a shout out to our directors and producers, Isaac Perez, Aiden Culpepper tonight. They're the ones that putting up all the graphics and commercials and hype videos, and as long as they don't post any selfies, we're good, because we are taking them up here during live action. No, I'm kidding. We are not. Then the camera woman, Ryan Simmons, out of the Mitten State of Michigan, if you're unaware what that means. And that one's still right along the end line. And Kane makes a nice stop. Still don't know where she's from. I've heard 4 different cities. I'm just going to say Metro Detroit. Yeah. I've heard Chesterfield. I've heard, we'll see. We'll get to it. Oh, Kane with a big stop. That one was point blank off the foot of Kalen Knutson, who's had a couple good opportunities. Sikorsky, who has the lone goal, will pick this one up right at the midfield stripe. Looks like our camera has a slight attitude here tonight. Doesn't like the cold weather. Ryan will snap that camera into shape here pretty quick, I'm pretty sure. Spartans looking to make it 2-0. Here's a push up the pitch. That's Fuentes. Isaac, where are you from? Bloomingdale? Bloomingdale, Illinois. That's where Isaac Perez is from. Aiden, where are you from? Aurora. So we're all local, minus our cameraman, camera woman, Ryan Simmons. She's from points unknown in the state of Michigan.
Just say Chesterfield.
Okay. Chesterfield, Michigan. I was just going to say, like Bigfoot, you just don't know where he's at. I don't know where she's from. But I like to give credit to the towns that people are from. My daughter, living in Ludington, Michigan, just turned 21. My oldest lives in Gowan. She's a nurse, just turned 34. Then with two pre-Halloween kiddos, 9 and 6. So hats off to you, my daughter. It's going to be a fun one on Friday, keeping them kids tame. All that sugar, and it doesn't take much, and I know they're favorites, so. Couple of them Kit Kats, and they're going to be bouncing off walls Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Should be a good day. First time in a long time that's not going to be any rain or snow for Halloween. That's a shocker. Now for the Eagles. Parrish with it, the junior from St. Charles. Eagles need to get something going here in the first half. They're down 1-0, 15-15 left here in the first. A free goal by Sikorsky at 22:08 is our only score. But there have been opportunities. 4 shots on goal for the Spartans, 2 for the Eagles. 4 total shots by the Spartans, every one of them credited as a shot on goal. And only 2 shots on goal for Ben Yu. There's a long drive, this time trying to get it up to Kruger, freshman from Jamestown, North Dakota. And she'll run out of space. Marissa Amador. Or is this going to be a corner? That's going to be another corner. And it looks like Sikorsky's going to take it. And I think these stats are wrong. Well, no, it's going to be the first for the Spartans, 2 for the Eagles so far. Let's see. Let's see what Aurora does here. 14 minutes left. They're going to go toward the near post. They're going to drive that one in, and that went in again. 2-0 Spartans. A free goal and now a corner. And I believe Sikorsky's going to have her second. Unless it was tipped. Let's see. They're going to say Chelsea Johnson with the goal. That's what I thought. Sikorsky will get the assist on the goal by Chelsea Johnson. And that one coming at 31:05. Sydney, Australia native makes it 2-0 Spartans. Well, they are dangerous. It's basically like special teams when you look at it. That's what they've had to do so far here tonight. And let's take a look at it. For Johnson, that's her 4th goal of the season. And for Sikorsky, she has her 2nd goal and 2nd assist of the 2025 campaign. Trying to feed that one into Knutson. That one didn't work. Now Sikorsky with a couple points. She'll have the throw. And there's a whistle because there's some mass substitutions coming in for the Spartans. Mara Olivas into the contest. Anna Corneliusen. And Chelsea Fuentes checks in for the Spartans. Well, the Eagles now, dire situation. Last time these two teams met was back almost exactly to the date on the 30th of October 24. Ended up in an 0-0 tie, 0-0 for those that do math. And the Spartans looking to tack on some more, leading 2-0 as we approach 12 minutes left here in the first. Goals by Sikorsky and Johnson have led the way. No score, Wisconsin Lutheran and Edgewood. St. Norbert and MSOE. MSOE leading 1-0. That's big also. Let's see what the Eagles can do down 2-0. Nice up that time by Kruger. Five shots on goal for the Spartans, 2-2 for the Eagles. Corneliusen tries to settle that one down, pops that one straight up in the air. So good luck to all the high school football players. The playoffs starting in Illinois Friday night, and Saturday. Indiana's going on their 2nd week. Michigan starts this Friday. A lot of big games on the schedule already in the first round. Something you don't normally see. Illinois has 2 nationally ranked teams going at it. Mount Carmel and Loyola are going at it, and they're both nationally ranked, and that's going to be in the first round, something you never see until basically the semifinals or the finals. So they're making the playoffs a little harder. But when you're undefeated and you're ranked in the top 10 nationally as Mount Carmel, they're gonna get the home field, and they're gonna get teams that they pretty much know as the Chicago Catholic League, just a massive, massive pool of talent. Here's Corneliusen. She'll send it back. Here's Carr. My Carr being held, no call. That's the 2nd time that a Spartan was almost dragged down. That was a good idea there by Johnson, just a little bit behind on the pass. Here's Knutson. One-on-one with Sikorsky. Knutson goes around Sikorsky. Knutson tries to go around another defender, and that's Martinez, and she's taken down hard, and there's a whistle. Let's see, any cards given out? Nope. Not yet. 8:43, clock stopped. 2-0 Spartans. 22:08 and 31:05 times of the goal. Unassisted by Sikorsky, got things underway, and then Sikorsky with the assist on the Chelsea Johnson goal at 31:05. As I mentioned, MSOE leading St. Norbert 1-0 in the first half. These are important games here for the Spartans. We'll check Edgewood and Wisconsin Lutheran. That's an even bigger game. And that one's 0-0. Here it's 2-0 Aurora. Well, you can hear Carr just calling this one out. Saying go, and that's exactly what they did. Eagles and the Spartans will bring in another substitution. Natalie Fernandez, a sophomore from West Chicago, will check in. Kruger will check out. We'll see who that was that came in for the Eagles. You do not kick before the official gives the whistle. That's like if you're at baseball and you think that was ball 4 and you start walking toward first base and it wasn't. Now you're on the bad side of the official. Eagles trying to get some sustained pressure here, down by 2. Corneliuson almost gets to that pass. Again, the Eagles trying those long stretch passes right now, and that's not working. You can see the aggressiveness by the Spartans. That middle third defense is absolutely suffocating. Good spin move. Here's Parrott. Parrish, she had that one, turned around, gave it to Knutson. And this one booted out of play, and it's going to be a throw for the Eagles. 6:30 left here in the first, 2-0 Aurora. Final regular season game. Spartans win, they're in, and if they can get a couple losses by some of the other teams that are playing now, they could be as high as the 7th seed. It's as high as they could go, low as 8th. They can also be out with a loss and a win by either St. Norbert or CUC. Well, CUC's already lost. St. Norbert's trailing 1-0. Pushed that time by Parrish, no call. Spartans navigate it here to the near side. Here's Fernandez. Nice give to Johnson. He's trying to get it to Sikorsky and couldn't do it. Here's Kaylin Knutson. She moves it to the far side of the field. 5:20 left here in the first. 2-0 Aurora. And this one chipped back. Eagles trying to stay onside. Let's see who this is going to be on. I believe they're going to say that went off the Eagles, and they are. Sikorsky will throw. Fernandez, good settle. Back to Carr. Corneliuson. Now Carr will get it back. Good stop by Martinez. Eagles and Elena Hernandez out of Burbank, Revis High School. Don't call it Revis, because that's like calling, believe it or not, Hobart, which is spelled Hobart. It's Hobart. I made that mistake broadcasting a football game, and the entire town came up to the booth to tell me that I had that wrong. I thought I would need a police escort out of Hobart to get out of town after that one. It was one of those good grief moments. You're just like, whoops. So I didn't even call them Hobart anymore. I just called them by their team name, Brickies. That was the easy way out of that one. Corneliuson drives that one out of bounds. Yeah, they're a little strange when it comes to team names over in Indiana, I guess. I thought maybe they were going to compliment me. I did have a fresh cut that day and brand new polo, but nope. They took a number like you would at the meat department to yell at me. It was interesting. Good fight for it right in front of the Spartan bench. We're running out of time. 3 minutes left. And another whistle. And they're just going to give this one to Benedictine. Running out of time here in the first, down 2-0. The Eagles looking for some positive. No, boy, who is that? Chelsea Johnson limping, coming across the field. Let's hope she's okay. Here's Martinez. Good thing halftime's coming up. Believe it or not, as cold as it is, you probably want to put some ice on it just to make sure that there's anything. She probably got kicked, and that's exactly what she's checking out. Here come the Eagles. Nice up that time by Sabrina Cox. Now the Spartans turn it around. That was Fuentes. Quite a dangerous pass that time, but good enough. Dalia Fuentes. Now she'll turn around. Let's see, she's going to try to get that one up to Fernandez. Eagles now with a $140. Carr says not so fast. Here's Fuentes. Chelsea Fuentes. Less than 90 seconds left here in the first. Started off very slow, but the Spartans with a free goal and then one right off the corner makes it 2-0. Here's Kane. What a dangerous pass, and this one picked off. Here's Parrish. Can't do anything with it.
1 minute remaining in the first half.
You can start to see the physicality starting to pick up just a little bit. That one headed. Nabulski out of Woodridge went to Lamont High School. Daniela Nabulski. The freshman out of Countryside, Illinois. Went to Lyons Township High School. Daniela Bukovic. Ten seconds.
9, 8, 7, 6.
Well, when we come back, we'll
4, 3.
recap the first half, get you set up for the second half. We'll talk some stats, and we'll talk about what happened in the first, get you ready for the second. And that's coming up after this short break here on athletics.aurora.edu. 2-0 Spartans on goals by Maura Sikorsky and Chelsea Johnson. We'll be back other side of the break. We'll get you some stats, and we'll talk about both halves here on athletics.aurora.edu. Welcome back to Spartan Athletic Park. Let's take a look at the 2 goals that took place in the first half. Off of a free, Morris Sikorsky, freshman from St. Charles at 22:08, makes it 1-0 Spartans. And then a goal off the corner by Chelsea Johnson at 31:05, assisted by Morris Sikorsky. Sikorsky now with 2 points tonight. Take a look at the stats. 5 shots for the Spartans, 2 for the Eagles. 5 shots on goal for Aurora, 2 for Benedictine. The corners, 2-1 in favor of the Eagles. And the saves in favor of the Eagles, 3-2. It was a very entertaining first half here at Spartan Athletic Park. Not many shots, but a lot of action going both ways. Chelsea Johnson got kicked either in the knee or the lower leg, and she was being worked on here at halftime. And it looks like she's trying to stretch out that leg. Looks like she's going to be good to go. You also want to be careful. You don't want to do too much, especially if you're going to make it into that tournament. And we know that one of the teams is doing what we need them to do, just Edgewood and Wisconsin Lutheran, 0-0. So coming up here in a few seconds, we're going to take ourselves our last break. It'll be a 30-second break, and then we'll come back. We'll get you suited up and ready to go for the second half. The teams are out. They're stretching. It's a cool one. It's 49 degrees now. Went down a degree. Even the officials are running almost like it's lightning on the field. And we'll step aside for a 30-second break here in athletics.aurora.edu.
What is our promise? At Aurora University, we know you want to have a positive impact on the world. That's why, as a community, we'll help you build the knowledge and skills to prepare you for a fulfilling career.
Welcome back to Spartan Athletic Park. I'm Bill Downing, joined by Isaac Perez, Aiden Culpepper, Ryan Simmons up here in the booth. As we wrap up the regular season here, let's take a look at, again, our sponsors. We can't say enough for everything they do. BSN Sports, Chick-fil-A, Kaufman GMC, Elite Management Properties, Raising Cane's, and Rush Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. Thank you again for your continued support to make these broadcasts possible. A cool, windy evening here on the 29th. We're on the eve of Hallows Eve. Back in the days, I can tell you that there was a lot of pumpkin smashing going on the night before Halloween. That's why you always saw, at least in our neighborhood, they finally figured it out to put the pumpkins in the garage. Then they'll bring them back out the next day. But a great time of year. Trees changing colors. Good time. As we transition into the winter months, Sunday, don't forget to put your clocks back an hour. Yippee skippy, it's going to be dark at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. How fun is that? Here, 45 minutes on the clock, 2-0 Spartans. Spartans doing their part. Already know that CUC has lost to Dominican today. That's big. Now, if Wisconsin Lutheran loses to Edgewood, And it's hard to believe that it's still 0-0, 48-11 left to go in the second half. Spartans now going right to left. We're back to action here at Spartan Athletic Park. Johnson, she's back out there. Here's Carr. Picked off by Ludwig. And here come the Eagles right off the bat. Kane's going to have to come out and stop it, and she does. Big stop by the senior from Navon, Ontario. Melina Kane. And you can see right off the bat what the Eagles are going to try to do here in a second. It didn't take them but 30 seconds to get good pressure. And that would be their third shot and third shot on goal. Machado Salazar. Just boot that one out. No, that went off an Eagle. Taylor Collins, a freshman from Fontana, California, with the throw in. Eagles very cautious but very direct right now. Crisp passing, knowing the importance. They have to get the next one. That one's going to be out, and that will be Spartan ball. Let's see who's going to throw this one in. It's going to be Sikorsky. Here come the Eagles. They'll keep it alive right along the far touch, but that one picked off nicely. Good aggressive tackle by the Spartans. Slow down that push. There's a collision, and they're going to give that one to Aurora. Foul on Parrish, junior from St. Charles. Good aggressive play. Spartans with it. Goes around the defender. Tries to boot that one across the box. This will be a throw. But Coons doing a great job as usual. Here's Johnson. Back to Coons. Coons trying to keep it alive along the end line. She'll drive that one in. Picked off by the Eagles. Here comes Knutson and Ben Yu. Good up to Lopez. Lopez in the far corner. They're going to give this one to Ben Yu. Big shout out to Tim Calderwood, the athletic director for Ben Yu. If he's listening, congratulations on his 4th title as the best broadcaster in the Frontier League. The only chance I got to ever get that title is for him to retire. But he is Mr. Baseball, and Schaumburg Boomers almost pulled off a miracle trying to upset the Quebec Capitals, but they were too much again. 4th straight championship for Quebec. Somebody's got to beat them. And let's see, is this going to be an offsides? Well, that is a late whistle. Well, they're going to say they were out of bounds. So it'll be a throw for Aurora. And now the Eagles will get it right back. Here's Sikorsky, circles back. Boy, Carr, I don't know how she kept that one in on the end line, but what a great play to keep that one in play. That one booted out into the field. Trying to get it to Lopez. But Natalia Ohab is very aggressive out there. And yet another opportunity. Like Kane has really done a great job between the pipes here today. Played the entire first half and here in the second. Kane with 3 saves. 3 saves for Amador also. See a little frustration that time by Ohab, and she just kicked that one out of play. .38:40 left. Headed by Sabrina Cox. Hairston able to slow that one up. Hairston will get it back. Good up to Fuentes. Fuentes over to Coons. Coons trying to use her speed. And she is fast. She goes around the defender, centers that one. Still loose. Quick one-timer there by Lopez. That one went right underneath the feet of the defender. And Edgewood now leading Wisconsin Lutheran 1-0. So let's see if the stars continue to align for the Spartans. But nice move there by Lopez. By Lopez, just no give up whatsoever. Tried to drop that one into Machado Salazar, not able to do so. Eagles send that one down range, slowed up by Collins. Chelsea Fuentes, freshman out of Aurora. Ilana Hernandez out of Burbank, Illinois. It's going to be Benue ball. Officials, David Avagon, Abel Gonzalez, Jeremy Caden, and Samuel Paisley. Danny Machado Salazar, number 4. No give up. She'll center that one right into the teeth of the Benue defense, and that one was picked off by Yari Serving. But Spartans has numbers there too. Fuentes was trying to get it to Machado Salazar. Now the Eagles with an opportunity if it stays in play, and it does not. And it's going to stay with the Eagles on a throw. Third corner for Benedictine. 35-10 left, and it's 2-0 Spartans. Third corner for the Eagles. See if they can get something going here. They need to do something, down 2-0. 35 minutes left. Kick that one right toward the middle of the box, going for the far post. Kane falls down. This one headed out, still loose. And this one's going to go out of play and be Spartan ball. Oh, a couple good chances that time for the Eagles. Hairston with it. That one stopped by Ludwig. Now Coons back in the middle, finds Fuentes. That's Carr. Nice turnaround there by Lopez. She's trying to find a streaking Chelsea Fuentes and just missed. Good settle by Parrish, and now the Eagles looking to cut this lead in half. They need one to do that. There's a chip back in the box, and Kane will let that one go wide. She'll get a free kick. 33:30 left. But not a lot of stats to really look at here. Only 6 shots and 4, 5 and 3 shots on goals, but Spartans have made the most out of mistakes and fouls in corners by the Eagles. That's something you got to do when the other game's not working and you get a stoppage. You can do a corner or a free. Work it to your advantage, and that's exactly what Aurora has done here tonight so far. Now Edgewood really piling it on, now 2-0. So Wisconsin Lutheran loses. CUC's already lost. That would put the Spartans in. Could be as high as 7. So with a win tonight and a loss by Wisconsin Lutheran, we are the 7th seed and would play MSOE. Either way, this is the final home match for the women's team here this season. Unless you get major upsets all the way from the top on down. Illinois Tech right now on the verge of an undefeated season. And the Scarlet Hawks want to go back to the postseason, but anything can happen. And that's a good part. Here it's 2-0 also. Spartans doing what they have to do. Carr puts the boot into that. Spartans going into the wind here in the second half. Oh, that was a really, really nice tackle that time by Yari Serving. The Eagles looking to try to turn that into momentum. Carr and the Spartans flip the script, move that one back out. Here's Johnson. Hairston. Gets it up to Coons, back to Hairston. Hairston out of La Mirada, California. Here's Johnson. Oh, tried to get that one up to Coons. If she was only about 14 foot 7 inches tall, that would have worked. Good idea, though, keeping the pressure on the Eagles. Sikorsky right at the scores table. Foul that time on Kalen Knutson. 29:40 left. Here's Carr. Coons. Now Johnson. Just outside top of the box. Johnson. Nice spin move. She'll have it. There's a shot. Amador able to stop that one, see that one cleanly. Good settle by Collins. Martinez moves it over to midfield stripe, trying to drop that one into Lopez. But Lopez would have a good scoring opportunity. Sikorsky with the header. Coons up to Johnson. Johnson a little bit too far ahead of Coons that time. Eagles need something. Sikorsky, that knocked down. There's a foul by Hernandez, sophomore from Burbank, committed by the Eagles. Spartans no hurry to get the ball back in action as the clock continues to run. Taylor Collins out of Fontana, California. By Fuentes, Salazar, and Lopez working well with each other. Here's Collins with the throw. Coons tries to settle it down. Kicked out by Collins, which forces a throw by the Eagles, and looks like we got a substitution coming in. Jackie Beltran, freshman from Plainfield, coming in for Alyssa Bassford out of Lombard, went to Willowbrook High School. Harrison gets it back to Sikorsky. Here's Carr. Senior from Murrieta, California. Kira Carr. Where's the captain's armband? Here's a drive. That one's still loose. Spartans look to make it 3-0. Couple good stops, but the initial Julie Lopez shot. Boy, what a drop that was in. Here's Johnson. And Amador will make the stop again. 25-25. Now the Eagles look to cut that lead. Kane with another big stop. But the Eagles have had couple really good opportunities, but Melina Kane, just like they say in hockey, has stood on her head here between the pipes. Spartans now with it. Here's Fuentes. Back out to Johnson. Johnson chips it far wing for Coons. Here's McKenna. McKenna drops that one in the middle. Oh, crossing in the middle was Fuentes, and she did not miss that opportunity by much. Boy, Sikorsky slows that one down. Picked off by Ohab. Ohab that time, and she's out there. Better keep your head on a swivel. She is quick. That one kicked out by Lopez. Here comes Martinez, trying to get that one up to Lopez. Eagles desperately trying to get something going. Here's Johnson, up to Lopez. Lopez circles back, tries to get that one into Coons. So if the scores stand, Wisconsin Lutheran loses. Here's the Eagles. And Kane with another stop. Well, she was about 12 to 15 yards out of the cage. Spartans got to be careful defensively. That's a couple in a row now that the Eagles have been able to break out. Don't want to give them too many opportunities. Their shots and shots on goals start to creep up a little higher. So are their chances of cutting this lead in half. Spartans up 2-0. 9 shots to 6, 7 shots on goal to 5 in favor of the Spartans. And if you're keeping track, World Series, top of the 5th, 3-1 Blue Jays. They win. They're going to take that one back to Toronto Friday and Saturday. North of the border is going to be total chaos. Here's Carr. This is where you got to be really careful of your passing. As you can see, the way that the Eagles have changed their defense here in the middle third. More aggressive opportunities. Here's Hernandez for the Eagles. Going one-on-one with Sikorsky. The Eagles looking for their first tally. Good settle by Ludwig. Surveys the scene. Ludwig back over to the far side, over in the far corner. They'll lose that one, and it'll be Spartan ball. And they will take their time. Some substitutions coming in. Looks like Sydney Thompson, the sophomore out of Green Bay, Wisconsin, coming in for Aurora. Chelsea Fuentes will get a breather. Carr, good idea. Just boot that one out of trouble. Thompson just into the game. You can see how aggressive she is. Right up top, Parrish trying to slow this one down, but no room whatsoever. Lopez just pushes through a couple defenders and just keeps the ball going. Here's Johnson. Let's see where she goes. She's got a couple players with her. Trying to get Coons. Kane's got to boot this one out, and she does. for Bennu. They're trying to spoil anything they can here. Well, that one, no foul on the last two. Really hard contacts. Machado Salazar trying to track that one down. Spartan throw. Well, the Spartans win, and Wisconsin Lutheran loses. We are the number 7 seed, and if that was to happen as we speak, they would be taking on MSOE and or Edgewood, depending what happens in those contests. But we know IIT is number 1. They've clinched the overall number 1. And home throughout the tournament, they continue to win. We do know one matchup. CUW will be at Dominican, the 5 versus 4. And the number 8 seed will take on IIT, and that's this Sunday, the 2nd. Here, 2-0 Spartans. Eagles trying to apply as much pressure as they can with 18 minutes left. Down by 2. All the scoring taking place in the first, 22:08 and 31:05. Melina Kane on the shots. 5 shots on goal, and she has made some really, really good stops. Ludwig, or Knudsen, trying to stay on side. She does. There's Ludwig. Ludwig, low line drive. Kane stops that one. Kane snuffs out another one. That is the 6th shot on goal, 7th shot total by the Eagles here tonight. Good play that time by the Spartans because the speedy Alex Parrish was zooming in on that ball. Ava Hutko, the senior from Geneva, out there for the Eagles. Lopez tries to get it up to Johnson. Thompson, nice turn. Machado Salazar. She'll get back to it. Well, I thought so. Picked off by Ohab. Spartans keep the pressure. Here's Johnson. Nice up. That's Kruger on the far side. She creates a little distance, chips that one in. Thompson, closest Spartan. Now Knudsen gets it up to Ludwig. Back to Knudsen, back to Ludwig. A good anticipation that time by Martinez. And Bennu, you can see they're starting to circulate more and more fresh legs into this contest. Natalie Fernandez checks back in. Danny Machado Salazar will catch a breather with 15:20 left. I'll just let this one go out, chew up some more time off this clock as we approach the 15-minute mark. NAC tournament starts Sunday. First step is you got to get in, and that's exactly what the Spartans are trying to do right here. They've had a little help from their friends up at Edgewood. And the Spartans have done what they needed to do so far up to this point. Sabrina Cox settles that one down. Sabrina. Good up to Parrish. There's a low line drive, and Kane with a nice stop. That was Parrish, who was the junior from St. Charles, that was trying to sneak in. And that time, that was Alana Hernandez trying to sneak in on Kane. Kane will chew up some more time and then boot this one, low line drive. Good settle by Fernandez. Thompson, nice spin move, trying to find Fernandez. And Amador's got to be careful. She's way outside. And, yeah, that's the only thing you can do right there because she was so far outside of the goal. That was dangerous. Had to kick that one out. Smart move. Here's Kruger. Bokovic that time able to stop the pressure by the Spartans. Freshman out of Countryside, Mines Township High School. Daniela Bokovic. There's Carr. Thompson surveying the scene. That was a long pass. That one anticipated well there by Hutko. .12:30 and counting. Johnson, good settle that time. Kruger trying to get to it, not able to. First one to it that time was Bokovic. Eagles just trying to get something going. Carr sends that one right down the seam between the hash marks. And then the Eagles will just boot this one out of bounds. That's a good play, but not a good play at the same time as the clock continues to run, and it's going to be a Spartan throw in the Spartan attack zone. There's Thompson. She's knocked down. Back out to the speedy Hernandez. And that one goes off, and that will be a throw. Oh, no. Kira Carr goes down. She's going to come up a little slow from that one. Let's see if they make a substitution. They let her walk that one off. Looked like she grabbed at her left knee. Here's Ludwig. Back over to Knutson. Knutson trying to move in. Knutson now in the box. Just to the left of Kane. Kane with another big stop. That will be a corner, the fourth one for the Eagles. But what a great anticipation there by Kane. Cutting down that angle, making it so difficult. She's reading these plays very, very well. The Eagles already set up for the corner. They know they're running out of time as we approach 10:20. This one chipped in toward the middle of the box. That one headed around, still loose, pinballed. That one may have hit an arm, and it did. Be Spartan ball. That one may have went off the arm of, it was Hernandez. Good call by the closest official. Clock stopped at 9:41. Amador, one of the easiest stops she'll have all night. The Spartans have really done well. 9 shots, 7 shots on goal. They've been good shots. Both sides have done very well tonight on their opportunities. Kane was able to stop everything so far. Amador, 2 have got by her. Those 2 stand tall for the Spartans here tonight with 8:53 left to go. Eagles trying to get that one up to Knutson, the senior out of Hartford, Wisconsin, Hartford Union High School. Five seniors on the Eagles playing their final game here tonight. Spartans looking to keep the train rolling. They're 8:15 away. And Wisconsin Lutheran about 8 minutes away from losing as all the pieces starting to fall together. Here's Coons. Kenna Coons. Kira Carr wearing the captain's bands. There's Collins. Somehow kept that one in play, I thought. Not sure what that hand signal means, but it looks like the Spartans are they going to get the throat? No, it's going to be the Eagles. .720. Well, the Eagles have got to get going here. Well, that was quite the collision right there. Olivia Smize, the sophomore from Burbank. Olivia Smith, excuse me, also went to Revis. Amador able to make the stop. They have got to start with some purpose at 6:40 left. They need 2 to tie. Looks like we got a stoppage, possibly for Ohab. They just checked to make sure she wasn't leaking from the nose. They're checking her out again. Oh, she's a soccer player. She's good to go, ready to go. The senior from Hickory Hills, Illinois. Right next to Oak Lawn and Eagles down 2-0. They need something, and they need something now. Kane, I got this. This will be under 6 minutes before they get things started again. It's exactly what the Spartans need to do right here. Game of keep away, but keep the pressure on. Don't allow the Eagles to do much. Another throw for Ben Yu as we approach 5:30 left. 9-8 in shots in favor of the Spartans. Shots on goal even now, 7 apiece. 4 corners for the Eagles 1 for the Spartans to this point. Scoreboard says it all, 2-0. All the scoring back in the first. Sikorsky with the first one and Johnson with the second. Those goals came at 22:08 and 31:05. 5 minutes left. Well, it's been a good night for the Spartans up to this point. There's a low line drive. Kane. Slows it down. You know, it's like a no-hitter when we've had, it was 3 or 4 this last year going into the 8th inning, and somebody said the word no-hitter. That sure enough ruined all 3 or 4. I think it was 4 no-hitters we were right on the brink of seeing while broadcasting this summer. And so you don't say the word. I'll say it at the end of the contest. Right now it's 2-0. You can figure that one out with 3:52 left. Spartans got it going early. Eagles have had their opportunities, but Melina Kane, well, what can you say about her? She has played huge. Nice spin move. Here's Coons. Coons using her speed still with it. Shoot! Amador gives up a rebound. Oh, McKenna Coons, hands on her head like, oh my, I had that one. She's still, and it's all right. Fight another day. Well, Amador, that was a huge save to keep it at 2-0 with 3 minutes left. Sikorsky. That was a great move by Coons, too. Here's Smitch. Smitch loses it. Good up to Parrish. But she is harassed by Machado Salazar. Can't get anything past this stingy D of the Spartans. Hey, you might as well go ahead and kick it out. Force them to throw. So we approach the 90-second mark. Oh, I'm sorry, is it? No. 16, that's 120 seconds. I'll get it right. 2-0 Spartans. They're on the verge of clinching a spot in the NAC tournament. They win. Wisconsin Lutheran, about 2.5 minutes away from losing, would give the Spartans the number 7 seed. And at this point, they would take on MSOE on Sunday. Here's Johnson. Boy, Hairston, Coons. Well, these ladies, they can feel it with $1:30 left. Here's an onside. Here's Hernandez. Tries to turn it on the end line. And if I was Kane, I would slowly walk to get that ball. Now under $1:20. Well, the Spartans looking for their 5th overall win, 5th in conference. That would give them 5-6-1, and historically would make it 21-2-6. But more importantly, that would put them into the show.
1 minute remaining in regulation.
60 seconds left. Hairston just drives that one skyward, and the Eagles right now, it's almost like they're throwing in the white towel. Machado Salazar not giving up. So now we're at 40 seconds. Collins tried to get that one up to Coons. And the Spartans will take their sweet time to throw this one in. 30 seconds left. I want to thank Isaac Perez, Aiden Culpepper, Ryan Simmons tonight for getting everything done up here. I'm Bill Dunning. To head over to athletics.aurora.edu. Check out all the stats. 10 seconds left, and the Spartans will clinch the number 7 spot in the NAC tournament. Congratulations, ladies, on a shutout. Now I can say it, by Melina Kane. She faced 8 shots, and the Spartans are in the number 7 speed. And they'll take on MSOE.
Time and destination to be determined. Good luck, Spartans. We're all rooting for you.
All right, so they're saying TBA who they're going to play. So as of right now, it's MSOE. We'll find out in the next couple hours. But the Spartans are in. They win 2-0 tonight. I'd like to thank everybody that made this broadcast possible, our sponsors, the hardworking staff up here at Spartan Athletic Park. I'm Bill Downing. 2-0. Spartans win, and they are in the NAC tournament. Right now, they're the number 7 seed, thanks to the loss by Wisconsin Lutheran and the win by the Spartans. Good night, everybody. Go Spartans.